having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths, and sometimes heights, to ensure the power is always flowing. Which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
On today's episode, we're discussing To Barcelona Forever, which originally premiered on the Hallmark Channel on Saturday, June 14th, and is currently streaming on the Hallmark Plus streaming platform. We'd love for you to hang out with us after the podcast, where we are Girls Gone Hallmark on Instagram. And coming up a little later in the episode, we have a visit from a very special guest. You're going to want to stay tuned for that.
Hey, if you are looking for a Facebook group with fellow Hallmark fans, we have one for you. It's called Girls Gone Hallmark in Facebook groups. You know, I peeked in there last night. We're recording this on Monday morning. I peeked in there last Sunday night. It was kind of quiet.
No one was talking about this movie, and I wonder if they're scared.
Come on. Are you for real right now? Did you think I gave them a lashing in there?
No.
I wasn't even close to it.
No, I thought you were very fair in your post, which we'll talk about in a little bit later in this episode. But I was surprised that there wasn't a single comment about this movie, particularly given that there was a ton of talk about the first one. So if you're in that group, get in there and make it happen, y'all.
Yeah.
I also think it speaks to the fact there's not like a whole lot happening. You know, there's this movie, but there's not a whole lot happening on Hallmark right now.
A whole bunch of reruns. If you didn't know, that's what's coming to Hallmark in July. Reruns. Oh, and also Christmas at Sea. I'm going to talk about it later.
Oh, in this episode?
Yeah, because I watched this movie live.
Oh, you did.
Actually, you know, I'm just going to talk about it now.
Okay.
It's in my Did You See That? But since you didn't watch it live, you watched it on Hallmark Plus, I'm guessing.
Yep.
While watching live, how many times can Christmas at Sea pop up at the bottom 2/3 of my screen? And not to mention the Norwegian gem. Like, okay, I get it. You're a star now.
Boat.
It's like this giant picture of the boat and then like Christmas at Sea. And I'm watching with subtitles because that's what you do when you're old. And so
you can't see them.
I can't see it. So frustrating. But I'm like, okay, I see your like 4-part dark docuseries is coming out. Okay, show me one time. Show me during the commercial.
Yeah, we get it.
So frustrating.
Well, let's hear a synopsis for To Barcelona Forever.
Look at that transition. Okay. As Anna travels back to Barcelona, reuniting with Erica to celebrate her engagement to Nico, she finds a charming farmer and accidentally finds herself engaged to save his family's legacy.
Ron Oliver returns to direct To Barcelona Forever. He has 91 directing credits, and y'all know him from The Groomsmen and The Wedding Veil Journey, as well as several picture-perfect mysteries movies.
Julie Sherman Wolfe wrote the screenplay for this movie, as well as the original To Barcelona with Love. Julie is one of Hallmark's best writers, having penned movies like Holiday Touchdown and so many more. I wonder what's on tap for her this holiday season.
I can't wait to see. Was a little bit surprised, gonna admit it, that she is not writing the Bill's love story.
Same.
Ashley Williams and Alison Sweeney share top billing, but this time Ashley Williams takes the lead role in this chapter of the story. Allie stars as Erica. We did see her earlier this year in Reality Bites, a Hannah Swenson mystery, and she will return to the role of Hannah in 2 upcoming movies, A Pie to Die For and Cooked to Death, one of which is coming in just a couple short weeks. Ashley Williams stars as Anna. Not only did Ashley star in 2 Hallmark movies last year, she also hosted the Hallmark Plus dating series Small Town Setup, and she recently added another directorial credit to her resume with an episode of The Rookie on ABC. Alejandro Tous plays Nico. He's a Spanish actor best known for his role as Ramon in La Guerrilla Blanca, where he has appeared in 99 episodes of the drama series.
Miguel Brocca plays Javier. Miguel is a Mexican actor who has 17 acting credits and has appeared in 110 episodes of the Spanish series Mia es la... Oh, man.
You can do it.
Mia es la venganza.
Yes.
As Diego. Man, I took 2 years of Spanish too. Terrible.
But how often do you get the chance to practice your pronunciation in real life? Not very.
Not very.
Both films were filmed on location in and around Barcelona earlier this year.
Hey, if you haven't yet listened to it, Allie and Ashley do have a podcast where they shared the process of making these movies. It is called Mi Amor, and there are 6 episodes now available.
Let's take a quick break, and we are going to come right back with our first impressions.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Stop by Sherwin-Williams and get 30% off select paints and stains June 13th through the 23rd. It's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Refresh your home inside and out with colors that make every space feel brand new. From cozy interiors to stunning exteriors, we've got the perfect shade for your next project. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hey, Wendy, what was your first impression of To Barcelona Forever?
This is the kind of movie that sneaks up on you. Let me tell you. 1 minute, I'm laughing at the subtitles. I have more to talk about it. The next, I am tearing up over the mother-daughter moments.
Oh,
What's your first impression?
My first impression is to quote a message we received from one of our listeners after this movie aired. So, when are we going to Barcelona?
How beautiful. I mean, I haven't felt this way since maybe we watched the Danube movies originally last year, where I was like, I want to go on a river cruise. Now I want to go to Barcelona.
However, I did happen to see that the people of Barcelona are not really loving tourists lately.
Oh.
So maybe we should table that idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I actually saw some videos of some British tourists getting water gunned by the people of Barcelona. I don't know the details of or the nuances of why people are upset, but apparently this is an ongoing thing where the people of Barcelona are not the biggest fans of tourism lately.
Well, that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What did you like about Barcelona Forever?
Well, I have a really long list, and I'm afraid you do not.
I do.
Okay. First, I really appreciated that Anna is fully stepping into this new identity as a travel writer. It feels like growth from the first movie where she was like, what am I going to do next? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love, in contrast, that Erica is now writing her own novel. It gives purpose to these women outside of having a romantic storyline.
Yeah, totally.
We are not one-dimensional.
I love a fake dating story. It's one of my favorite tropes.
Same.
However, what I really liked is they take this whirlwind one-day romance, and that's how they prime the fake dating story. So we are already willing to accept that in this like fake engagement, they have chemistry. They don't have to develop it, which works really well in the constraints of a movie that's an hour and 20 minutes because they've already built it up. And so I thought the pairing of those two ideas, this like one day and then we go on our separate ways and then now we have to pretend to be engaged, made me fully believe that these two had these strong emotions for each other that they were pushing back against.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And I like that you articulated it like that because I was wondering, I love a fake dating trope, but you're right. Like some of my favorite fake dating movies, the whole movie is them actually becoming interested in each other.
Yeah.
And what we have here is they are already interested in each other. So yeah, it's a nice little spin.
And we don't have the misunderstanding piece because often in fake dating, right, they're pretending to be together and separately they're developing these feelings, but neither is saying it to the other because they're supposed to be pretending. But they didn't have any of that. They've got to be out front about all of it.
Right.
What else do you like?
Well, I like that it pivoted away from last week's story. You know, last week we were at Nico's bookstore and St. Geordie and all that, right? And I knew like we're going to do a sequel, but where is this going to pick up? I'm glad that it didn't pick up like a year later. It picked up a couple months later. And then we get a full pivot into following what Anna is doing, but it was still complementary to the original story, but we're not getting the identical story.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, 100%. And the thing I liked about Erica's story is it kind of runs in the background of this movie. There's just little hints of it. And you talked a little bit about some of like the emotional powerhouse moments, which I'm not going to take away from you. But I do want to talk about her breaking down to Nico after she's discovered as writing this story. And he finds out that she was struggling with writer's block and everyone's upset with her and she runs away and she finally just kind of comes to him and breaks down a little bit. That was a very powerful scene for me.
I agree.
And it hit in a way that I was surprised by because her story is not front and center in this movie. And yet that scene was really great. I was very emotional for her.
Me too. And now that you say that, it's probably not purposeful, but reflecting on it, like it shows that a lot of people have stuff going on, right? But we show up for other people.
Yeah.
And, you know, like what's that line? Like everybody's dealing with something. So yeah, that's a really good point. Like she's there for Anna and all that stuff is fun. But then like there's this background of like, I'm not dealing well with this task that I'm supposed to do, writing this novel. And she finally breaks down to Nico. Yes, it's a very good scene. I agree. I would like to say that the writing is equally as sharp in this one as it was in the first one. I thought it was funny in all the right places, especially between Anna and Javier. There's one scene where they're talking about after they have their date and they're eating ice cream and they talk about the spicy kiss. So I thought that was so good.
Yep.
Then there was like a full nuanced grown up conversation about not sleeping together when she shows up at his home and he's going to show her where she's going to be sleeping. And they're like, she goes, but I'm not sleeping with, it just was funny. I thought it was
great.
Well done. And Anna and Erica, like their banter had a nice rhythm and natural flow to it that I really like. Like you can tell these people like each other in real life. Like it's easy to act between them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I laughed out loud in one scene when Anna is talking to Erica. And she's talking about how she needs to make more money for what she's doing. And she's like, I need the brand deals. If I want to get these brand deals and the sponsors, I need to reach more people. And I was like, girl, you are preaching to the choir.
Right?
I felt very relatable. My next thing is the comedy. I love a Hallmark rom-com.
Totally, me too.
And in this one, I was thinking about it as we were watching, and we're going to talk about this more in a little bit, but we don't get to see comedic chops a lot from the women of Hallmark. We see funny. We see them like reciting or acting funny lines, right? But we don't get to see it like maybe in a physical comedy or like a all over the face or like a quirky little whatever. I love Ashley Williams. I think she brings a lot of comedy, but she balances it with sincerity. She is a home run for me every single time.
I totally agree.
And her scenes with Javier, they were like light and flirty. They were just such a joy to watch. I really enjoyed a lot of this movie because of that.
I did too. To your point, I think Ashley Williams might be one of the best comedic actresses on Hallmark, if not the best comedic actress on Hallmark. And one of the things I loved about this movie, as if after last week I wasn't already primed to shout about women being allowed to be fun and adventurous and fall in love at any age, they give us this love story to women and female friendship and family that was so emotional for me. On another note, when we were presented with the narrative of this secret saffron farm, I heard Taylor Swift in my head singing, I think I've heard this song before and I didn't like the ending. And they went ahead and surprised me with two twists. One, Ashley pushes back very quickly against the way in which they're deceiving his family. She doesn't like it. She's uncomfortable with it. Regardless of the potential career gains for her, she's not on board with it. On the other hand, the twist of Erica being the one to, in quotation marks, betray them with her writing was a twist that I didn't see coming. I assumed, because we've seen this before, the secret location that nobody can know about and the secret strategies. I was afraid that somehow we had all this like location sharing going on in the movie and something was going to happen. And it was different than I expected, and I appreciated that.
Did you like that whole... It was kind of a quick moment, but when the realization that Anna has when she learns that Erica was going to write her novel about this family or be inspired by it, and then she kind of just like tongue lashed.
Yeah, that wasn't actually
Erica?
my favorite moment.
Why?
Well, because I felt like, I think I have two feelings about it. On one hand, I'm glad that she was so protective of Javier and his family. On the other hand, I didn't love that she jumped to the worst possible conclusion about Erica.
Okay, fair.
So, because to me, I thought it would be, I wasn't bothered by the fact that Erica was inspired by this family. And I think, I guess if you look back to the first movie and Erica took liberties with Anna's writing without permission, really, you could see why she would make that jump to maybe she's making the wrong call here. On the other hand, they've developed this friendship, and I feel like she should know her better than that to know that she wouldn't betray her and Javier in this way.
Yes, but don't you think that is a superhuman normal human reaction?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So that's what I liked about it. It surprised me because we wouldn't get that typically in a Hallmark movie where you see like somebody's actually mad at somebody else because of a assumption or whatever. But I thought it was kind of a fresh human take.
I don't disagree with you at all, and I didn't not like it from a writing perspective. It just made me uncomfortable from a human perspective, seeing that conflict. But I think they also flipped that trope on its head because the main conflict is between Erica and Anna, as opposed to where we would expect it to be between Anna and Javier.
Right. No, that's why I think Julie did so well with this script.
Yeah, I think she did. I think it's there's some underrated moves in these movies.
Totally. Two more final things that I liked. I really loved, and I talked about it earlier, the touching moments between Anna and Javier's mom. They were so heartfelt. And it wasn't just one, there were a couple of them. And I could see what I felt is that Ashley Williams, the actor, was really connected to that material as a daughter who had lost her mother in real life.
I 100% agree.
So it was just lovely, 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 lovely.
Yeah, that was an incredibly moving scene, that onion scene and the relationship she had with his mother.
Yes, yes. I loved it. And finally, I loved the wedding at the end. I'm a sucker for wedding. I love the wedding at the end. It gave us that nice, neat bow in the Hallmark ending. Of course, you know, I thought that was lovely. And then as it ended, I asked myself, I said, would I want a follow-up movie to this?
Oh.
And initially I was like, yes, I do. But then when I thought about it, I was like, okay, but where are we going to go with it? Like,
yeah, everything's kind of wrapped up pretty nicely.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad about checking back in with this crew.
Yeah, maybe
but
if they're minor characters in somebody else's story.
Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somebody else, another big Hallmark name.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about this movie.
Nice. Well, we're going to talk wishes, but before we jump into our wishes, I want to throw it back to last week when some of our biggest wishes were in regards to the way people were perceiving this movie and perceiving what the lives of women of a certain age should be like, and perhaps suggesting that having fun was no longer allowed after the age of 35. And we were not the only person. We were not the only people who felt that way. And someone reached out to us with some thoughts. And I'm going to play those for you right now.
Oh, Girls Gone Hallmark. It's Ashley Williams. I'm so excited. I didn't even know that this little voicemail was here. And now I'm just going to call you all the time and say hello because I love you two so much. Wanted to say thank you so much, first of all, and so thanks for watching the first Barcelona movie. The second one does air this Saturday night. I hope you like it, but I just wanted to say, everything aside, I just wanted to say I did hear your episode on Barcelona with Love, and I am so grateful for the shout-outs regarding the fact that I am an old lady. The comments online referred to me as too old to be running around chasing after boys. And that was startling. And it might just be because, you know, at the ripe old age of 46, I'm still super into the dudes. I do have a husband, so maybe let's not spread that around too much. But I love men. I love appreciating men. I love love. And I think that women of all ages are capable of getting giddy and flushed in the face and excited about a potential new, you know, fun date or, you know, getting engaged again and finding a new love of their lives. And I really appreciate that you saw that. And I was startled that so much of our audience was offended that somebody my age would still be interested in finding love. And it doesn't feel true to like the Hallmark fan base, so it was surprising. Just wanted to say thank you. If anybody else feels the way I do, drop a little comment on maybe the Hallmark Facebook page or an IMDb review, because guess what? The Hallmark executives read all those, and they do affect the stories that we tell. So thank you for your support as always. I love you too, and I'm grateful that you're old like me and that you still have a heart that's going strong. Huge love to both of you, and thanks again for your support. Bye.
I love her so much. I'm telling you, she is just sunshine. Like, I want to be in her orbit, like on the daily. You know what I mean?
I know. I went downstairs and I told my husband, I'm like, Ashley Williams just called us. And his first question was, do you put your phone number on the internet? And I was like, no. And then he was like, she called like you guys? I was like, yeah, us specifically. So
that was awesome.
Yeah, that was
awesome. What are your thoughts? What are your Can I
Please.
before you share yours, can I tell you mine?
Please.
I'm actually floored that she was so vulnerable and shared on our voicemail. She gave us permission to share this voicemail, guys, that her future work depends on all these comments. You know, Hallmark is looking at them. And I just thought that came from like a really vulnerable place, and proud of her as a fellow woman to, share that, put it all on the line. Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't it kind of make you mad, though, that these like keyboard warriors have as much of an effect on the movies that get made as they do?
Yeah, because I think these keyboard warriors don't give a second thought to the ramifications of what they're putting out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody just fire off a tweet or a message or a whatever and just be like, I hate this because then, and then they're not really realizing the consequences of what they're doing.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, I think it's a good reminder to those of us who watch these movies that your positive words do matter. I think it's really easy to, I don't leave a lot of written reviews of anything anywhere. Obviously, I have a podcast, so I talk about these movies very publicly. But, if you like something, say something.
Yeah, and if I can say for a minute, the origin of us podcasting came from me being a hater, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously at the top of the podcast, you hear me, I am a former Hallmark hater. I have really come to appreciate the storytelling, the actors, the directors, all the people that put the work into the movies. Are they all winners? No. We have reviewed some not so great movies, but it was never like to the intention of like, well, I feel like I'm going down a slippery slope here. So
no. As Benjamin Ayers said in the clip he sent into us for our Countdown to Christmas bracket, nobody sets out to make a bad movie. Mm-hmm. And we do not set out to make a takedown podcast. We want to give objective reviews of these movies, but we want to come at it from a place of appreciating the people who make them.
Right. Well, she's just sunshine, that girl.
I love her. Thank you, Ashley. Call us anytime. You can be the third girl gone Hallmark any day.
Yeah.
What are your wishes about To Barcelona forever?
I have one, just one.
Cool.
I was a little surprised about Erica being so stuck as a writer. Yeah. A big shift from the previous movie where she's super confident. I mean, I know she like wrote this story like kind of undercover or whatever, but in those scenes where she was like really pushing Anna like in the writing and they were working together in last week's movie, where'd she go?
Yeah, the imposter syndrome got her.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Okay, so maybe it wasn't so much of a wish because I said earlier in the likes, I liked that we have, these characters who have other stuff going on. Imposter syndrome is very real. Mm-hmm. So maybe this is just one of the cool moments that you mentioned that Julie did.
Yeah.
In the writing.
It was intentional.
Yeah. Okay. What about you?
Look, I am going to die on this hill, and I'm just going to say it one time, and people can fast forward 30 seconds if they don't want to hear me say it. Turning 40 does not relegate one to a life without fun, silliness, and light. I have yet to see a complaint about Alejandro Tous as Nico. His age. He's the same age as these women. Women are many things. Aging doesn't, or shouldn't, wring the personality and individuality out of us. Or them, in this case. And my non-age-related wish is I do think that Javier and Anna fell in love just a touch too quickly.
Oh, you think so?
The I love yous?
The I love yous were a little quick for me too. Yeah.
I was all in on the romance and the feelings and the... Do they love each other? Maybe they do.
Yeah, a little fast. I agree.
That's all.
But they didn't get married, so...
I loved that they did not get married.
And I love that, like, there was a fix for the whole family tradition thing. Like, somebody could step in for his role and he could really go do what he wanted to do because, and I didn't mention this earlier because I forgot, I did kind of love the whole, like, vulnerability of Javier. Usually, like, females get that storyline where they're like, I I got to be part of my family business and blah, 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 whatever, right? But here we have like a male perspective of, I don't want to be on this timeline.
And that he's the one who's going to step away to support the career of his partner.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Loved it. All right. I only have a couple Did You See That's. What about you?
I got a few.
Okay.
Got a few. Go ahead.
I know you're going to talk about one of them, so I'm going to leave it alone. But not a true Did You See That? But I loved Anna's Now a Clock bag.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
She carried a tote bag.
When she got out of her car?
It's in several scenes. And I tried to find it. Googling Now a Clock did not yield any results. I didn't look that hard, but if anybody knows where to find it, please email us, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. But it says, if anybody's like, what are you talking about? It's just a blue tote bag. And on it, in what looks like digital numbers, it says like the letter N, then the colon, like it's a time, and then OW, like Now a Clock. I just thought it was well placed for the theme of the movie.
Wow.
Like, now's the time.
That's so funny because my first Did You See That is a suitcase.
Oh.
When her car breaks down and she's decides to get out of the car and she pulls out her suitcase, they showed like the suitcase gets like two very prominent close-up shots, and I was like, is this a brand deal that's happening here?
Oh, did you see did you see the branding of it?
Well, my old lady eyes couldn't barely see the TV, so I don't know. It wasn't like it was like away,
right.
But
Samsonite down the edge.
No, it wasn't like that big, but I thought, that's funny. It just was interesting.
It wasn't like Wayne's World level advertising, but
No.
What else you got for Did You See That?
My absolute favorite moment was when Anna was speaking Spanish to Javier's dad, and Javier's dad replies back to her, and the subtitles in Spanish just fly across the screen. I thought it was smart and hilarious. I laughed out loud to where my husband like came upstairs. He's like, you're laughing at your Hallmark movie? And I just was like, this was very funny.
100% agree with you. It was a total highlight of the movie for me. And I want to know who was in charge of that decision. Like, who was like, this is how the scene needs to go? Because, like, was it just an editor doing that? Or was it a director's choice? I loved it. So great.
Very good. Very, very good. My next one is Nico calls Erica Rubia.
Yes.
And I was like, I wonder what that means. I looked it up. It means blonde in Spanish. And I thought, that's cute and flirty.
Yeah, like Blondie. That's cute.
Right?
I like that a lot. I'm glad you looked it up because I did wonder about it and never looked.
Yeah, I was like, Rubia? What does Rubia mean? And then, of course, like I just Googled what does Rubia mean in Spanish, and it gave me like the translate of blonde. So if Google's wrong, email us at girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com.
We don't know anything.
Yeah, no. And one final Did You See That for me was when Nico was slicing a potato, but he was like cutting the potato like you would cut pieces off an apple. Oh. You know what I'm talking about? Like he's holding the potato in one hand, and with the knife, he's like chipping away at it. I'm like, what is happening here?
Like he's peeling it, but not
peeling it. He's cutting chunks off of it.
As if there were a core.
Yes.
Interesting.
I was like, put that down. Get that knife away from your hand. What are you doing?
Yeah. You're stressing me out.
I mean, everybody's got their own technique, but I was like, what? I mean, maybe the recipe calls for like very rough chopped potatoes, but I don't know.
I don't know. Are you ready to rate To Barcelona?
You don't have any more?
Forever? Oh, no, I don't.
No more? Oh, sad. Okay. Yes, I'm ready to rate it.
Well, for me, this movie was better than the first. I gave it 4.5 stars.
I give 4.5 stars too.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it.
Hey, thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. If you love this podcast, we love your 5-star ratings and reviews. You can leave reviews in the Apple Podcast app. That's the best place to do it. And we'll be back with more Hallmark reviews next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.